Hello, I'm Kevin Boyles, President and CEO of Team Resources. At Team Resources, it is our mission to provide solid opportunities that allow investors to diversify their portfolios in oil and natural gas, benefit from significant tax advantages, and receive monthly returns through direct participation programs. Our emphasis is on teamwork, integrity, and certainly performance. Thank you.
Welcome to 21st Century Business. I'm Alexander Haig. Oil and natural gas are the lifeblood of our economy, accounting for more than 60% of the energy consumed in the United States. To meet projected demand, our nation has a vital interest in ensuring the competitively priced domestic natural gas and oil remain part of the U.S. energy portfolio for decades to come. Joining us to discuss this topic is Kevin Boyles, President and CEO of Team Resources. Welcome, Kevin. We're delighted to have you.
Thank you, Al. Great to be back.
Good. With oil and natural gas prices continuously fluctuating, how does Team Resources strategize to be competitive and profitable?
Well, Al, in my 22 years experience, I've learned through the hard times and good times not to get caught up in an energy run-up. I focus my attention in areas that are profitable with minimal cost to develop.
Now, the United States is home to an abundant supply of both natural gas and oil. Yet, there exists a supply and demand gap. Do you agree with this?
Well, there is a supply and demand gap, yes. And there are large reserves here domestically. The problem with a lot of these reserves is that it costs too much to extract and to produce them. So until oil prices rise considerably, those reserves, unfortunately, will probably never be produced.
Yeah. Now, what would you say to those that say much of the conventional resource space has already been harvested?
Well, many of the fields in the past were all geared up to be produced for oil. And they really, at the time, never produced the natural gas that they discovered during this oil boom. Now there's a lot of fields that are being revisited to go back after the natural gas that was discovered back in the days of the oil hunt.
Now, where is Team Resources currently drilling for oil and gas?
Well, we're really focused in Kansas for the majority of our efforts. We do drill along in Louisiana as well and other states. But we're really making Kansas our home at this particular point in time. And it's a very little known fact, but Kansas does rank in the top 10 as far as domestic oil and gas production.
Very good. Now, why have you chosen this region?
Well, I really never intended on going to Kansas. You know, I spent a lot of time in Texas and Louisiana and all over. Mm-hmm. But upon going there looking for opportunity, I found that the drilling cost and the services and just the economics made more sense to be there.
That's frequently the case in making a choices such as this.
Well, I think in these days, everybody needs to watch the bottom line and certainly get a better value for their investment dollar.
Now, what incentives has the government created to encourage the development of domestic reserves?
Well, they haven't really created anything new, but there has been in place for many, many years incentives from the government to drill domestically, and that's primarily through tax incentives. Approximately 75% of somebody's contribution into domestic drilling can be written off, and so consequently saving them some tax dollars.
That's important. Now is the time in our program where we look to the future, Kevin. What do you see happening in the next few years in terms of oil and gas production?
Well, I think oil and gas production is going to remain fairly flat. However, with my company, I've acquired an operating company with services and supplies capabilities, And just since June, when I was last featured on the show, our acreage holdings have more than quadrupled, and we're going to drill probably 2 to 3 times as many wells next year. So Team Resources, we look to really expand and focus our efforts on developmentals.
All right, now, Kevin, it seems that once again we must conclude a most interesting and vital discussion, as we are simply out of time. But before saying farewell, let me take this opportunity to thank you for being with us and sharing your wisdom with us today.
Well, thank you for having me, Al. It's great to be here again.
And thank you for watching. Until next time for 21st Century Business, I'm Alexander Haig.